Hey, beautiful soul, welcome to this story time where healing begins through truth and faith. If you've ever loved the wrong person or been the wrong person, this story is for you. Stay to the end and let your heart be reminded that God still writes. Redemption Stories, don't forget to subscribe for more. Raw healing stories every week was the boy every girl whispered about during youth group. He had that soft voice that prayed loud, that charming smile that made you think maybe this one's really different. His name was Ezekiel, but everyone just called him Zeke. He knew the Bible better than most quoted verses like they were poetry saying with hands raised, never missed. A Sunday never missed a girl, either behind the praise and worship. Was a game one he played too well. He'd text you verses at night. He'd say, God told me you're my future wife. He'd hold your hand during altar call, and when you cried during prayer, he'd hold you tighter, but it was never just you first it. Was Elena, then Ruth, then Sarah, all thinking they were chosen, all falling harder than the last. And when they cried, he disappeared, blamed them for being too emotional, too attached, not praying enough. He always had a holy excuse. He was 20 when everything started crashing. He got caught not by a pastor, not by a parent, but by a notebook, a journal, Elena. Forgotten youth group, someone opened it, and there it was dates. Screenshots, prayers, tears proof it, circled fast, a whisper turned into a storm. He came back to church the next week, but no one stood beside him this time. No girls asking to pray with him. No friends laughing at his jokes. Just silence. He said he felt like a ghost walking among saints, but really he was just a boy who got lost. Trying to wear the mask of a man, he said. He sat in the back, and for the first time he didn't raise his hands, he didn't sing, he just Krita. Pastor came not to scold, but to sit, just sat beside him. Zeke said that silence healed him more than any sermon, because for the first time he wasn't being seen for his charm, but for his pain. He started therapy. He confessed to every girl. Some forgave him. Some never replied, some cursed him out and walked away. But he said the hardest part wasn't the shame, it was knowing he hurt people who truly believed he was God sent. It took 2 years for him to walk back into leadership. This time with scars, showing no charm, no flirting, just truth. He became the boy who spoke about how pride wears church. Close, how manipulation can sound like prophecy, how sometimes we use God's name to get what we want, and how healing starts with telling the truth in today. He teaches boys to be better, not just to avoid guilt, but to love like Christ, low selfless. Pure patient in, if you ask him, Zeke will say he still carries guilt sometimes, but God's grace is heavier than shame, and every time he shares his story, one more broken heart begins to heal. Closing call to action if this story touched something deep in you. If you've been Zeke or been hurt by someone like him, I want you to remember healing is still possible. Share this story with someone who needs it. Subscribe for more healing stories every week. Your story isn't over. God is still writing.